Welcome to Pod Me If You Can, I'm David Farrell. Today's film comes off this triple pack I bought. It features Terminal Error, Taxman, which I've previously done on this podcast, and Woundings, starring Guy Pearce and Noah Taylor. So Woundings is today's film.
Pardon Me If You Can, movie reviews.
Woundings, aka Brand New World, from 1998, is based on a play and starring Guy Pearce, Ray Winstone, Noah Taylor, and Jonathan Shaish. In some strange alternate future Manchester, women are being recruited to be companions or to find love with soldiers on a strange island by a monarch known only as the Prince. They arrive via helicopter to the song I Want Candy. So these women are basically flown in to be kind of like entertain the troops-esque, but what's really going on is, I suppose, they are meeting and finding love and adventure. Jimmy, played by Guy Pearce, is special, which may mean he has a mental deficiency. He certainly gets bullied around by his mates and fellow soldiers. The men are very rough and mostly drunks. If they're not drinking or smoking, then they're taking drugs or pissing on things. They handle most of the women like objects, and one soldier tells a woman, "Soldiers don't like a stuck-up twat." Ray Winstone plays their commanding officer, and when they fight each other, he encourages them to kill one another. He's a very off-kilter leader too. Very much reminds me of Apocalypse Now, when Marlon Brando is sort of the commander of everyone around him, of the natives. He has 2 pet seals as well, and seems in a constant state of inebriation. They spend a little bit of time doing war-like activities and disarming bombs on the beach, and one bomb actually explodes on the beach, so there is an element of danger to what's going on. However, there's no real warfare happening, and they are very much the expendables of this Manchester war. Jimmy finds something of a compatible woman in Louise, played by Sarah Jane Potts. She's just as socially awkward as him. She says, "You're no soldier. I knew the moment I looked at you." And Guy Pearce's character Jimmy then spends the rest of the film trying to prove that he is a soldier, and grinning all the while with this ridiculous, possibly not quite right in the head grin on his mouth. "A woman is a wound," one character says, which means that the women are in fact an injury on a man, or the enemy, or they are in fact the thing that they're fighting against in this war. If there's a point to the film Woundings, and possibly the play Woundings, I haven't seen the play, then it does not come across here at all. This is the most muddled metaphor, and I could not tell you what this film is trying to get across. It would have been aided by a voiceover, or some text at the start, explaining perhaps that there was a war going on, that soldiers were a commodity, or anything. They are all on this island, and it seems that they're not fighting anyone in particular, which maybe is the commentary. I did wonder if it was a message about the mundane nature of being a soldier. The accents here are thick and sometimes hard to understand, and the quality of this DVD was not great at all. The scenes where soldiers and women pair off and get together are painfully slow. Suddenly an hour had gone by on the runtime, and I was like, geez, nothing has happened in this film. There is no barracks, however all the men do shower together, but there's no sense of order to the soldiers' lives. They just roam free around this island. There are men in uniform and also men in plain clothes, seemingly locals. Nothing here is explained. Though the women thought they were in for an entertaining fun time, the reality of what they're in for makes them look sad and desperate. The women in this film hook up with the first man they see, and they really are objects and things for the men. It's strange, there's so little warfare and lots of sitting around in fields or just walking. Noah Taylor has a cameo really as a photographer. Twiggy has a cameo as Viv, one of the many objectified women, and she shares a lesbian kiss, but not a lot of self-esteem as a character. I have a theory about what this movie is about, because nothing is explained. As I said, this is one of the worst films I've watched for this YouTube channel. I think what is going on is all of the soldiers have scars of war. So all of the soldiers have some kind of issue, whether it's PTSD or they're on the spectrum or they have lost limbs, things like that. This is kind of an island of misfit toys. So they don't know what to do. And instead of dealing with all these issues like PTSD, they send them all to this island and make them believe that they are still in a war situation, when in fact it's just an island and there's no one they're against on this island. And they've tricked women into going to the island to be companions for them as a kind of humane thing to do. All the men, I think, are damaged, and the only thing we get at the beginning is this propaganda saying to the women, you know, come to this island, meet a great soldier. None of the men are great soldiers. Something about the haircut on Jonathan Shaysh's character makes me think that he is simple. As well, Guy Pearce's character, Jimmy, comes across as really like daft and, you know, simple himself. And there's a character called Stanley who gets to make love to a woman for the first time and then proposes marriage to her, and he as well is a bit off. As well, if you tell me that Ray Winston's character, he's very off-kilter, that if he had mental issues as well, I wouldn't be surprised. I was trying to make sense of this movie, and if you kind of push all the characters onto this island, and, you know, that's where you leave them because you don't know what to do with them, that maybe makes sense to me. The other thing that feeds into this theory is that Noah Taylor doesn't seem aware of any warfare at all. So he walks around taking photos of the troops, and as he takes his photos, he is walking around completely standing up while they're crawling around on the dirt. So maybe he is in on the joke and knows that there is no danger that these men are in, that there is no warfare. The only thing I can't place is that there are actual bombs, that they're being disarmed on the beach. And the reason I think these bombs are there is so that nobody runs away or leaves. So they've kind of done a perimeter of bombs, and they're keeping everybody on this island and telling them they're at war. And basically that kind of scare tactic keeps them busy and gives them something to do. It makes these men who were at war feel useful again. I don't know if this is the correct read on the film, but this is what I'm taking away from it, because it was so difficult to watch, and so much of it may have been lost on me. This one was a real trek to get through, but the reason I watched it was because I'm such a Guy Pearce fan. I think he was fantastic in Iron Man. I also think Memento, which is one of my favourite films, and I really wanted to see some of his early work. So I checked this one out for you, Guy, but it does not hold up. It does not last the test of time. And Woundings is one you can definitely give a miss.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.